Please drink responsibly. Hey guys, Zane still here, yet again, with another deck update. I was going through some of my old videos, and I looked at my Dragon deck one, and I realised it was too old. And I have seriously changed it since then, since I got back into tournaments quite a while ago. And I spent a lot of the day with Mr. Sasuke Dragon and Neo Nexus. We all went through our decks to boost them and strengthen them up for our tournaments, basically. And until some of my other decks are complete, I only use this deck. So when those decks are complete, then I'm going to start poning even more. So, we start off, obviously, with the extra deck, which has exponentially increased. So, back down to one Ultimate Dragon, which is always, there's no point having two, one is just fine. I hardly ever use my extra deck anyway. But carrying on, Five-Headed Dragon, obviously. Red Dragon Archfiend and Red Nova Dragon. Helpful ones to have in time of crisis. Stardust Dragon, not going to bother with Shooting Star, there's no point. Trident Dragon, that's a good one to have as well actually, I'm happy, I've won a couple of times thanks to him. And Black Rose Dragon. So, that's the extra deck. Move this stuff out of the way. Right, we shift over to monsters. Yeah, quite a few of them. Right, 3 Blue Eyes. Enough said. 2 White Stones of Legend. And in case I feel like Ultimate Dragon just can't cut it, Shining Dragon. Although, to be honest, I hardly use him. But when I do use him, it's generally against Neo Nexus, and he doesn't like it. Kyber Man. I like Kyber Man. Now we go to my impenetrable defense. Shield Wing and Marshmelon. Most of the time, Neo Nexus always attacks Marshmelon, and he hates it. It's funny. I love it. Anyway, Strong Wing Dragon. Me and my mate, Mr. Sasuke Dragon, call him Strong Wing Muck Dragon. I don't know why, but he's a good card. Red Eyes Wyvern, obviously. For Darkness Metal. There is a strategy you can do where you can get Darkness Metal on the field in your first turn. If you use Future Fusion, dump Wyvern and Darkness Metal and a couple of high-powered dragons in your graveyard straight away. End phase, you didn't summon, remove Wyvern and bring back your Red Dragon. They can't stop it because they have no back row because you started first, and you can start bringing back your powerful monsters in order to start, well, molesting the field basically. Vanguard of the Dragon, 2 of them. They're good level 4s to use, so. And a really good, if you're looking for a Dragon Synchro deck, these are dragons to keep an eye out for. Delta Flyer. These can help you with a bit more precise tuning because their effect is to put another dragon on the field's level up by 1. So if you've got level 4 and you've got one of these, boost the 4 up to a 5 and you can go straight into an 8th. Red Dragon, Stardust or whatever. Or you could stick with the 7. It helps for precise tuning. Lava Dragon, he's in there because he is sort of like a really good way of getting into Red Nova with the right cards. Spear Dragon, classic dragon, everyone loves Spear Dragon because of it's Spear Dragon. Anyway, Decoy Dragon as well, he's good if you've got a nice big beat stick in the graveyard and you want it back. So Decoy is one to have. And the final monster in this card, which actually confused my friend James, the Tricky. Love that card, I love the Tricky. Haven't seen him in years. Anyway, we move on to spells. And there it is, my signature card, Future Fusion. Generally, Marshmelon and Future Fusion normally come into my hand first draw, which is really nice, I like it when that happens. Enemy Controller, Dragon's Mirror, helpful as well. Dark Hole, a lot of people are using it these days, so because it's now finally off the ban list, people love it. Well, it's actually been off for a while, but yeah. Magical Mallet, just in case, you never know. Monster Reborn, usual. See, Ancient Rules. So, I mean that works with any. I mean you can put that in practically any sort of deck with normal, like Dark Magicians, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes. You know, a lot of your old styles. Shield Crush, good card to use. You can also use it in cahoots with Book of Moon. Switch their monster face down defense and then shield crush the bugger. You don't need to worry about it. For some reason, a second enemy controller, that's fair enough. Alright, we'll do that. Burst Stream of Destruction, good card to have if you're looking for a Blue Eye style deck. 2 MSDs, helpful little cards, you never know when you might need one. And Pot of Avarice, you've got to recycle when it comes to this. When it comes to this deck, with things like Future Fusion, you're dumping 5 dragons in the graveyard immediately. So, well, you know, if you're using 5-headed dragon, you're ditching 5 dragons. So that's going to eat up quite a bit of your deck in quite a short amount of time. So you're going to want to recycle when it comes to a fusion style dragon deck. Fusion, yeah. But we move on to traps. Not many of these. Call of the Haunted. Nice card, love it. Widespread Ruin. Classic card, stops people quite a few times. Bottom's Trap, my Dark Bribe, finally found that. Whatever. Torrential Tribute, and Mirror Force. And this is the old Duelist Pack Yugi, the old ultra rare one. I like this one. Mr. Sasuke Dragon gave me this one. He had another, so you can have that. So that is a good card for me. I love that card. So anyway. A little bit more rambling going on there. That is my dragon deck as it stands. There really isn't much else that I can really do with it. I'm pretty happy with it at the moment. If I think of anything, I think, well, actually that could be a little bit better, then I will do it. But chances are, I might actually just leave it as it is because I'm happy with it. It works well. I can use it well. You know, it works. I'm looking on making another type of dragon deck at some point, when I get around to it, but I've got so many projects, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks that aren't quite complete yet, so I've got a fair bit of work to do before I start a new project, so I've got to try and actually knuckle down and do these things, but I keep on forgetting. Anyway, hope you like it. Rate, comments. Obviously, since it's updated over the years, the Cyberdarks have now finally left this deck because there was no point. There was no point using them at all. I mean, yeah, they work well in the Dragon deck, obviously, because the Cyberdark's effect, but no, they had to come out, make some changes, and for the best. This deck was brilliant. Went to the tournament, did pretty well, went back to a mate's house, we had a quick card game, and this deck put him to sleep pretty quickly. It was like the fastest time he'd lost that day, so I was very happy with how that performed. It was absolutely brilliant. So this, I'm really happy with this, and it's easy to use. It is very easy to use, very simple. Just got to remember the key points. With things like Future Fusion for your 5-headed dragon, you're going to have to recycle because you obviously, I've said before, you ditch 5 cards, and that's a bit of a chunk, especially when it comes to monsters anyway. So but if you do use Future Fusion, remember, dump Wyvern, dump your Darkness Metal, and then you can bring that back on your first turn with a couple of high powered, say 2 Blue Eyes in your graveyard, and I don't know, a Strong-Winged Dragon. You can just bring them back using Darkness Metal's effect. So you can get strong presence on the field almost immediately just by Future Fusion and Wyvern and Darkness Metal. So it's a good one to use. Anyway, I believe that is actually going to be the last video, unless I've not put that one online, but I'll have a look first before I do the video. Anyway, I've been Zane Truesdale 987 with my Dragon deck, and enjoy yourselves.